3 more. And 2, last one, and release. Now go back to your right, spread the toes again, but this time let's go through a hip circumduction. Try and keep the length. So the rib cage often collapses onto the hips. Can you try and keep that length and lift the sides of your ribs off your hips? 2 more, and let's switch over. Spread the toes, keep the ribs off the hips, and then let's begin. Nice hip circumduction. So we're beginning with the hip patterns, sending the blood through, mobilization, so important if you want power. Last one. And now take the legs wide, please. Drop into a plie, and on the plie, your knees and toes are turned outwards. So drop into the plie, and let's get into that hip chain further. Your inner thighs, your adductors are going to restrict this movement. That's normal. So just go as far as you can without sliding your bum back. You do want to keep in the up-down movement of a plie. 2 more. Last one. Now we're going on hip internal rotation. So internally rotate that left hip. And ground in the right foot. And internally rotating the left hip. Moving through internal rotation in 3 and 2. And now go on the other side. Internal hip rotation. You really want to lift the heel. That will give you the pivot point to be able to turn that hip in that hip socket. Last 2. Last one. And release. Now you're just going to glide that left leg across, and it's not touching the floor. And standing in the right leg. Good. Nice and solid here in 3 and 2. Now hold that leg up, and let's see what your balance is like as you tip. Try and touch the floor. Stand back up. So we're doing an intelligent warm-up, which all warm-ups should be. Focusing on proprioception, joint mobility, so you have power when it comes to the workout. Last one, please. And release. Stand on the other leg, tall, and just glide that leg in and out. And your power comes from the space in the joints. If there's no space in the joints, we're really restricted. And we're certainly not as strong or as powerful. So doing that mobility and proprioception helps to create that space. Now hold it, tip from the hip. And again. So as you do this, you're trying to assess, what does one glute feel like compared to the other? Is one stronger than the other? Do you have more stability on one side than the other? The chances are you answered yes to all of those questions, because our hips do tend to have an imbalance because of our dominant side. One more, please. And release. Now find your squat pattern on the outside of your hips, and just get into the habit here of gliding the hip back. So you might normally squat without thinking, but for the warm-up, can we consciously think about the glide of the hip? So allow that hip to really glide away from you, and it should put all the attention into the heel. If you've got pain or discomfort in the knees, that probably means that you're squatting forward, and we need to correct that in the warm-up before we do the workout. So glide that hip back, and now stay back. Feel the hip glide back. Have the weight very solid in the heels, and now just start to swing the arms, but I'm going to invite you to stabilize with your core, and obviously your thighs are stabilizing as well here in 4 and 3 and 2. Now from here, tip from the hip. Maybe your hands will almost touch the floor. Bend the knees. You're going to take the right arm and then the left arm. You're going to do a little bit of thoracic mobility. Now it's really important that wherever you are, you don't look like this. So you can't do thoracic mobility with protracted scapula. You have to have those scapula flat, and you have to have that natural curve in the lower back. So be mindful of your technique. It's a challenge for me to see you all, so I have to rely on you being mindful of that posture. Last two, last one. Now bring yourself up and just step the legs behind you and start to move those legs. Moving the arms now. Bend the elbows as you bring them in. Give the shoulders a little bit of support as you have great control. Nice. 4, 3, 2. Hold the right leg back and now arc the full body and the arms. And what that means is that your bottom squeezes forward, that tips your hips forward, and that should give you a lovely stretch in your hip flexor. Oh, I love the hip flexor. Oh, it creates such a relief in the lower back and the knees when you take care of it. Last one, now stay back, hold it back, and just give me that back stroke. Bend the elbows, just so there's not too much strain on the shoulder. Nice. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now step the left leg back and pump those arms now. Chest is high, controlling the arms, pumping that leg away, feeling fabulous this Thursday morning. In 4, 3, 2, hold it back, and now go into your arc. Try and make it a full body connection. The ankle is stabilizing, the knee flexes a little bit, you have the opening in the hip, the spine goes into extension, the arms go into flexion, full chain activity. Now hold it up, bend the elbows, and go into your back stroke. I'm sure your shoulders are saying clunk, clunk, click, click. So am mine. Lots of different research as to what that is, but the most common is linked to the synovial joint fluid. Last 2, last 1, and release. Now lateral, let's get the lateral hip pattern. So now we're going side to side. We're going to add a little bit of power off, so the body gets to use to a little bit of impact. Nice response there. Controlling the landing. Having that leg going across, so you get that little curtsy action for the lateral hip. Good. 4, 3, 2. Now you're going to hold it. Right leg across is behind. And now you're going to lengthen that lateral line. Reach away. Don't you just love warm-ups? They're so creative. They're so important. And they really improve your chances of success and power. Last 2. Last 1. Hold it. Good. Now take your bottom arm, reach it back, and feel that slight twist. You got it. Stand up straight. Go back to lateral. A little bit of power off again. A little bit of heart rate change. Good, landing. Take your time. And instead of staying close to the floor, try and go up and over. And that way, when you go up and over, you have a little bit of propulsion. Just going to take my notifications off as they're still on here. We don't want that. Good, nice. And now hold it on this side and lengthen. Good, reach. Drop that that left outer hip down. Beautiful. And now drop the bottom hand. Let the bottom arm go back, so it brings you a little bit into a rotation. Isn't that lovely? Good, and then last pattern is the rotation. So just go side to side, And we will begin. Today we start with lower body, upper body circuit. So we go one lower, one upper. That's the circuit, 3 times through. Then we're going to have a floor section for the glutes with the band. Then we're going to have a fabulous abdominal section with the bendable. You ready? So first one, we'll need a pair of dumbbells. We're going to work for a minute in each exercise. So dumbbells to start. Right leg would be forward, left leg would be back. Body would be at center. I'm just going to show you first and I'll hit the timer. We're going to take 2 pulses at the bottom of the lunge, then tip forward into a deadlift. Reset, pulse, pulse, tip into a deadlift. Okay? In 3, 2, 1, begin. You pulse at your own rhythm. You tip at your own rhythm. And I will add that the more you tip, the more you're going to fire that glute med as you stand up. Your glute med is a hip and knee stabilizer. So if you've got any issues in the knee, this is a fantastic pattern for you, but you might have to go a little bit slower. Stabilize if you can. I shouldn't have had that glass of whiskey this morning with my breakfast. And stabilize. Good. And you don't have to touch the floor. Nobody says you have to touch the floor. You just tip, but make sure you set that beautiful posture in between. Good. Nice. Let's do one more. Nice pulses at the bottom for that thigh. Fabulous. Now from here, take your hands and we're going to bring them up the body, in and up for a clean and press. So the dumbbells change directions. Join me. They start with the palms facing me, then they flip so the palms face each other, and then they return. Because what you're doing is working on the angles, your functional angles at your shoulder. Clean and press. Keep going. Now it's normal that you might use a little bend in the knee to drive you through the press. That's completely normal. Drive. Good, give me one more. You got it. Now left leg forward, right leg back, chest up and go. Pulse, pulse, tip over into your deadlift. Pulse, pulse, tip over into your deadlift. I must ask that you pulse really close to the ground. Otherwise, you're not going to feel this exercise. It's going to be a little bit of a bounce, bounce, and tip. And we don't want that. So get low, take your time. You want to pre-exhaust the thigh on the pulse and then pre-exhaust the glute on the tip. So be mindful about what you're doing. Exhaust the thigh here and then stabilize into glute. Good. Nice. One more. We'll go back to that clean and press. You ready? Here we go. So clean in and up, in and down. So you might notice that I'm using the complex timer, which means no rest till the end of the circuit. We just change exercises and we keep going. Now keep that head nice and high. Good. And drive and tip. You got it. Watch that arm position. Go slower if you're confused with where the hands should be. Team, when you do the upright row portion, try not to crunch your shoulders to your ears. Keep them down so you can use some of your lower trap stabilizers. Good. And the heavier the dumbbell, the more you'll need that bend. You got one more, then right back to right leg. Ready, right leg. Can't remember whether it was forward or back, but whichever. Pulse and pulse and tip. It was right leg forward. When you pulse, try and keep your body over your hips and your arms slightly back. Usually when people lunge, they kind of collapse forward. So try and keep that lovely length as you do that pulse, and then spread your toes as you go into that tip. Go low, shoulders back, switch on to the upper body. Nice, lovely. And again, nice pulse, you've got one more. And tip, and release. Back to your clean, here it is. Clean and press. Good, so multi-muscle exercise or multi-shoulder exercise when you do a clean and press. You do need to feel something. So I'm hoping the weights are achieving that for you. It is aerobic, so it will change your heart rate a little bit, which is super. It's nice and functional. Teaching your shoulders how to move through their natural glides. This is a natural glide, and then palms facing in is another natural glide. So I'm hoping it feels pretty smooth for you. Good, drive. Two more. Shoulders away from your ears, please. Now left leg forward. Ready, pulse, pulse, engage the upper back and drop low. And then tip. Good. It's a great balance exercise, isn't it? Because going from that pulse to that deadlift really switches on the proprioception and will challenge that balance system. You know, you can tell that I've had like 48 hours of long nights, reading government guidelines, making sense of the restrictions, because I've got no balance today. I'll have to fix that with a nice yoga practice after this. Chest high, good. One more, and then your final clean and press. Ready? Here we go. So pull it in and up. And we're going to change the exercises. Work with the glide of that shoulder. There should be no pain, no discomfort. If you've got a shoulder issue and it doesn't like this position, then you would repeat your clean. And on that clean, you pull up, you descend the shoulder blades to turn the dumbbells around. Descend. So you pull up, drop the shoulder blades to create that turn around. So you can be here if you're not doing the press. Good, two more. Last one. And release. Quick drink, changing exercises. No weights on the next one. To start. Okay, right leg, circumduct, squat. Circumduct, squat. Join me, please. Sit back through your hip. Now, the reason we're doing this is to again work on proprioception. And proprioception has been researched to prove that it's really good for your brain health as you age. So you can't just do things that don't challenge your balance. Challenging your balance and the glide of the joints is really important for your brain health as well. So here, I'm hoping that when you sit into your squat, that you still got a glide going on. Then the brain switches off because of the circle. Then you've got to really quickly connect and find a good squat again. Please don't be too narrow. Go on the outside of those lovely hips. Lovely jubbly. Last two. Last one. Grab your dumbbells. We're going to pair this one with a bicep. We're going to go parallel arms, hammer curl to W. So we go hammer curl to W. So the hands, dumbbells face each other on the hammer. Dumbbells turn out on the W. Palms face each other on the hammer. Palms face up on the W. Join me if you haven't already. And good. And drive. And squeeze. Now you can front stance. Or you can split stance. Whichever feels fabulous for you. But team, look at how you're hanging the shoulder. If you're starting with that shoulder slightly forward, can you draw it back? Engage that lovely upper back, which will in turn engage the fabulous abdominals. Chest high, so you're alternating the shape of your bicep curl, trying to target the two different heads of the bicep. Chest high, good, nicely done. We have 10 seconds here. We go back to our squat circle. One more, please. A fabulous. And dumbbells go down. Circumductor squat. Here it is. Big open hip. Glide back. Open hip. Glide back. Good. Keep going. So this class is strength and core. But of course, when you're doing big muscle groups, it does impact the intensity. So your heart rate should be lifted. It shouldn't be like sweat 45, you know, where you're completely anaerobic, but you should be feeling some cardio response. Work on that mobility and then really work on that glide and cement your heels into the floor as you do that lovely glide. Good. And again, I lost my rhythm. And let's go. You got 10 seconds. Sit back. Nice and tall. Lovely, lovely. One more. Fabulous. Grab your dumbbells. Two types. Ready? Hammer. W. Let's go, go, go. Hammer and W. Now the effectiveness is impacted always by alignment. So if your shoulders naturally hang forward because your chest is a bit tight, be mindful about engaging your upper back. You should always feel like the sides of your ribs are off your waist. You should always feel that. Then the abdominals can work. Good. Are we doing good? From what I see from here, we're looking fabulous. I see a little bit of glow, a little bit of sweat, which is nice. That nice underlining cardio. Two more. Last one. Here we go. Let's go back to that functional squat. Hip circle. Ready? Open. Cement your feet. You want your body to quickly find a good technique after a movement. Because you know, if you're going to fall or slip on the ice, you've got to really get yourself together quickly. So that lovely movement into squat is waking up all those sensory cues. Be careful when you're lifting that leg that you're not collapsing your chest. Yes, that's it. We are fabulous. We are strong. We are amazing. Keep going. Sit back through your hip. Lift the side ribs. Good. Almost. This is round 3. One more on this side. Left leg. Grab your dumbbells, final set on bicep. Hammer to W. Engage the upper back. Lengthen the abdominals. Side ribs off your waist. And off you go. Ladies, if you are bored of wearing Lululemon, like I am, there is a fantastic collection now on the Reebok website. Last time I worked at a conference in the UK, there was a great Reebok collection. I couldn't find it anywhere in Canada, but now it's listed on the Reebok website. So if you want some fancy leggings, some new shorts, they got some good stuff and their fabric is great. I've had a few Reebok stuff. So just an option. I went shopping the other day. It's always nice waiting for a package to arrive. You got two more like this. Last one, and release. Okay, we're gonna change the exercises. I'm going on a glider next, and I'm going to go right leg only. I'm going for a forward lunge with the glider. I want the back knee to go as close to the floor as possible. When I stand up, I push into the glider to bring the leg back. That's going to fire your hamstring. So we're going to go lunge forward, glide back. You'll lunge forward, you'll glide back. I don't have any dumbbells because I want you to be able to use your natural body rhythm because of the unstable surface. Are you ready? Right leg, if you're not using the glider, sorry, then you will step. You won't get the hamstring on the way back, but you'll still get a great exercise. Right leg, in 3, 2, and 1. Right leg goes forward, please. Drop the back knee to the floor, glide back. Now, how many you do is really up to you, your rhythm, and most importantly, your technique. Usually, if you're not used to working with gliders, you'll be a little bit slower. And that's amazing. You do what's right for you. Always chest high. Want to burn out the thighs here, front of thigh and back of thigh. Oh, I was so slippy, I slid my glider away. Let's not do that. Good, you got 2 more. Last one. Fabulous. Grab your dumbbells. Lateral raise in between. Dumbbells face me. Thumbs face up. Rib cage off the waist. Now I know this is a weak spot for many, so you can do single arm if necessary. Most important thing for the health of those shoulders is that you only come to shoulder height. You have your thumb facing up rather than this position, because that internally rotates the shoulder. So thumb up will bring your shoulder blade into neutral, and it will just feel so much nicer in the shoulder socket. Good. 2 more. Last one. Dumbbells down. Left foot on the glider. Ready? Here we go. Left leg forward. You should be able to get a little bit further because you're using the glider. It kind of sneakily takes you into that extra range of motion. Isn't that nice? Forward lunge. Good. Now, if you're feeling this in your kneecap when you go forward, can you look at your weight distribution? You might be leaning over that front knee. The glider does force you to have great posture at the center, because if normally if you lean forward, you'll slip. So it's a great exercise to re-establish head over hips. Just the toes on the glider. Can you really push down as you pull back? Push down as you pull back. Last one. Great, change over. Sorry, grab the dumbbells. Back to lateral raise. Ready? Thumbs face up, chest up. You got to lift. Lateral raise is a fabulous exercise on the core stabilizers. It's why it makes you feel nauseating. So we often feel nauseous when we're doing lateral raises. Ribs off your waist. Be mindful. Lift your carriage. Lift your carriage. Yes. You should be proud and happy. Always happy. Because really, what's the alternative? Don't like the sound of that. So always choose to be happy. Find something to be happy about. 2 more. Last one. We got it. Down we go. Round 2. Right foot. Dumbbell, toes on the glider. Let's go. Now you really have to pay a bit of attention to the way back. So when you come back, push down. Yes. And drive. Isn't it nice how this glider is giving you that little bit extra range of motion? Most of you have got your knee on the floor. Fantastic. That brings in some functionality as well. Good. Great. Challenging that back thigh. If that knee is going to the floor, try and keep your eyes up, team. That will help your posture. You look amazing. Amazing, amazing. Let's have 2 more. A light, another 2. 1 more. Fantastic. Change to the dumbbells. Lateral raise. Now these are getting too much. Alternate. Lift your carriage and go. And lift. These are usually good for those of you with your shoulder issues. Most of the shoulder issues come from tight chest and weak rear shoulder muscles and lower trapezius. This is getting your lateral shoulder to help bring the arm into that neutral position. So still good if you're working with a shoulder issue. You just may have to have the dumbbells lower. Last 2. Last one. Fantastico. Left leg. Ready? Head up. Let's go. Straight down. Straight down. So you want that back knee towards the floor. And remember, if you're not working with a glider, it's no problem. You're still fabulous. The exercise is still fabulous and it's going to work amazing. I'm just going to take a sneaky look where I can, what I can. Good. Nice. Yes, keep the eyes up. Try not to tip over the front leg. Think about bending the back knee. Sit down into the back knee. Sit down into the back knee. Yeah, good. I love to see that glider challenging your balance on the way back. That's fantastic. Sit down in the back knee. Yes. Push down into those toes as you come back. You look amazing. 2 more. I so miss seeing people in real life exercising. Last one, and time. Grab your dumbbells. Back to lateral raise. Set down. Ready? And lift. Think about your side ribs. Remember the option, you can do 1 arm at a time, then you won't do as many reps in the set. And good. Great. I taught the first class at the Glencoe last night to real people in the studio, all wearing a mask. I taught Pilates and tone last night. It was so weird. I forgot what it was like to correct people and actually have bodies in front of me. It was, I've been teaching for 30 years, but I forgot what to do last night. Last 2, last 1. And release back to your right leg. Foot on the glider, chest up, shoulders down. This is set 3. So you won't be doing this leg ever again. So what can you do to get more? Can you go deeper? Can that knee consciously touch the floor? Can you press into that glider as you stand up? Be careful as you stand up that you're not ricocheting the body. Try and keep your eyes lifted and that will help keep that length. Yes, good. Nice and tall. Nice and long. Chest is always high. Low as you can. You've got 15 seconds. Then you won't be doing this ever again today. Push into that foot. As you come back, let's activate those hamstrings. Good. Last one. And time. Lateral raise in between. I know. I want that fatigue. Engage. Lengthen. If it's too much, drop the dumbbells. Do it without. Or lower the weight. Or do single. If it's not enough, you know what to do. More reps or more weight. Chest high. Think about the height of your spine. Make your abdominals work by lifting that rib cage off your waist. Feel the difference when you make your inter-abdominals work by lifting the ribs. 2 more. Last one. And release. We won't be doing that one again. We just finished now with the left leg. And then we'll change the exercises. Head up. Let's go. Down and up. Good. Nice. Bend that back knee. Dropping it down to the floor. Down to the floor. Good. And drop. You got it. And drop. Nice. Good. Chest is nice and high. Almost there. Good. I don't know what I'm saying, almost there. You're only halfway through. You got another 30 seconds. Keep the head up. Bend that back knee. Chest is high. Because we're amazing. We're connected to our posture. We're super tall. We're super proud. In 3, in 2, and 1. Quick drink, we change the exercises. Okay, inner thigh, 2 gliders. We are toes on the gliders, heels on the floor. You're going to do a jumping jack glide. As you glide in, you've got to push your toes down and squeeze the inner thighs together. Jumping jack glide. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So go out, jump in. Out, squeeze in. You've got to really activate the inner thighs. No gliders, no problem. You can still bring your mind into your inner thigh as you come up. So you can still get that mind in the inner thigh as you come up. In 3, in 2, glide in. 1 more, and time. Good. Grab your dumbbells. Separate the legs, hinge from the hip. Face the floor, lift the elbows, kick back. So tricep kick back here. Chest is facing the floor. What's really important is that you don't lift your elbow too high, because if you can see, if you lift your elbow too high, can you see how it tips the head of the humerus forward? We don't want that. We're trying to fix that. That's how you are all day. We don't want that in our exercise too. So if you can slide your shoulder down the back body, maintain the elbow at the side of the body. Don't lift it, because then all you're going to do is force that internal rotation. That is a huge problem in 99% of the population. Last one. Time. Dumbbells down, go back on your gliders. Ready? Here we go. Out, in, out, in, out, in. Good. Glide. You want those inner thighs to squeeze you in. If you're not feeling stable, if you're not happy, then listen to that. You can step it and still glide it in. You can step and just drag your foot across the floor, or you can jump without. Please honor what your head is saying and the connections you're getting from your body. Squeeze, squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick up your dumbbells. Hinge from that hip. Look at the floor. Get right against gravity and then kick back. Now, if you're up here, you're not as against gravity. The exercise won't be as challenging. If you can really hang against gravity, then you'll get the challenge. As you fix those arms at the side of that body and you kick back, stay there. You've also got glute stabilization. So the more you're in that hinge, the more you've got those glutes connected for that fantastic stabilization. Isn't that lovely? Stability for the glutes, muscular tone for the back of those arms. In 6, in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. Pop that down, feet on your gliders, last step, ready, go. Out, in, quick as you can. Get with me. Choose your options, but you do want to squeeze. Inner thigh in, inner thigh in. Jumping into those gliders, inner thigh in, yes. Good. And squeeze, drive, squeeze, drive. In 4, and 3, and 2, and 3, and 2, and 1. Nice. Last time on triceps. Hinge from the hip. Dumbbells in. Kick it back. Try and look at the floor. Align the back of your neck. Team, make sure your shoulders are not rising to your ears. Slide them down. Shoulders away from ears. Looking down at the floor. Lovely jubbly. And squeeze. And squeeze. Squeeze. Nice, let's do 6 more. 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, fantastico. Down on the floor. Grab your what's that? It's a bendable. Okay. Lift the chest. Bendable curl. Really important. Roll to the back of your sit bones and scoop your pelvic floor up to your waist. Scoop the pelvic floor, roll to the sit bones, you have a C shape. Now put the ball there. So what I was trying to highlight is you don't lean back with a flat spine. Draw the pubic bone up to the waist. That will create a nice curve. Then the ball will sit there at the lower back. If you don't have the ball, you still want to be in the C shape. Okay, feet on the floor, shoulders away from ears. Go down, find a point of resistance where you can feel the abdominal switch on. Once you feel that point of resistance, that is your start. Now, go down further, come back to resistance. Down, back to resistance. Good. So down and back to resistance. If you need to make it easier, you can come up through that resistance point so you unload. What we're doing here is we're not unloading. We're at resistance, then we go down and we come back. And this is the bendable curl. With the ball behind you, it's allowing the hips to soften a little bit so they don't have to do all the work. Keep going. What that means is that's going to be way more concentrated on the rectus abdominis and the deeper layer, the TA. Keep going. So that means you are going to feel this. And it has been proven to be 4 times more effective than regular abdominal curls. 4 times. So that means you're going to fatigue 4 times quicker. I'm hoping you're screaming right now. Last 2, last 1, and come all the way up. See, that's what I miss. I miss the sound effects and the grunts and the groans and the occasional swear word. We're going for a second set. We're going to move on. So nice and tall. Start tall. Roll to the back of the sit bones and draw your pubic bone up towards your waist. The ball then goes in. Find your resistance point. Now you're going to pull one arm, slight rotation, the elbow may or may not touch the floor. Back to resistance point, pull the other arm. Good. So in beginners, we say come all the way up. In beginners, we don't use the resistance point. So if you've not exercised for a while, you're just coming back, you're recovering from any injuries, or you're just finding the bendable exercise is too much, then come up. You don't have to hang out in that resistance point. Keep going. Nice. And again, and dry. And squeeze. And when you blow up your bendable, you don't want it to be rock hard. You want there to be some softness because, keep going, the intention is it's going to kind of mold into the shape of your lower back. So it doesn't want to be super hard. You got 3. Are you screaming? 2 more. Are you swearing? Last one, and release, coming up. We're going to add on. Isn't that fun? So sit nice and tall, reset. Roll to the back of your sit bones. Pull your pubic bone up towards your navel, the ball in. Supporting the lower back, find that resistance point. Now go down. Lift one arm, lift the other arm, come up to resistance. Go down. One arm, the other arm, back to resistance. That's your exercise. Remember, in between, you can come all the way up. If you're struggling and you are lifting your own body weight, so if you've got more weight to lift, gentlemen, you're normally a lot heavier than us ladies. So you might need to put your hands on the back of your thigh to bring you up with support. So if your abdominals are fatiguing and you're not getting there, then use your hands. Good. And just a reminder that strength and core is a 55-minute class now. If you have to leave at any time, just make sure you stretch out your hips and your chest. One more. Isn't that lovely? And release. Good. Now from here, grab your mini band. I just want to do a nice concentrated glute med exercise. Let's do the clamshell. So if you've not got the band, I'll give you an option. Pop the mini band on and try and get it into your thighs. And then lie on the side of your body. Now you can take your bendable and place it under your head, and it's kind of nice because it's a nice support keeping you in neutral. Now, knees together, feet together. Keep your feet together and just clamshell so that you open the top leg. It's a small movement. We're getting into external hip rotation. That's your glute med. Your glute med and minius are responsible for external hip rotation. Try and keep your heels together. Keep your heels together, externally rotate the hip. Now be careful, you don't want to move the body. So can you keep the upper body still as you externally rotate? And if you're doing this without the band, you might want to take your legs straight and do a lift and a lower instead, because the longer leg will be a little bit heavier than the shorter leg if you've not got the band. So if you've not got the band, you're doing side leg lift, so you can still get your glute med. If you've got the band, you're doing your clamshell. I'm hoping there's some fatigue there. This muscle fatigues really quickly, so don't be too hard on yourself. Now open it and stay, and just give me a small press, press. Oh my God, if you're not screaming right now, ouch. Last 6, 5, 4, 2, and 1. I hope I'm not the only one screaming. Change over, other direction, bring that ball around with you, place it under your head, let's protect neutral alignment whenever we can. It's nice for the neck. Okay, knees bent, feet together, clamshell here. You are lifting against resistance with the mini band. If you're not working with a mini band, then you have your leg straight and you're going to lift and lower the leg instead. Wherever you are, team, can you make sure your hips are forward and you open and close? Keep going there. Nice and controlled. Good, good, good. Nice. Open and close. Good, keep going. Sorry, I just got a note. Excellent. Nice. Keep open, keep the heels together as you open and close, and just try not to rock that body back. Good. Yes. Excellent. Lovely. Love it. Nice. That's super controlled range of motion. That looks great, Jodie. Very nice. Good. And squeeze. Good. So those that band's on the thighs, and then you open and close. Good. Open and close. Keep the heels together. Nice clamshell there. Looks great, Derek. So nice being able to see some people. Good. Great. Nice. So you want to feel like you're really opening. Hold it up. I've lost count because I'm not doing it with you. And now pulse and pulse and pulse. So you really got that external hip rotation. Good. And that band should just be around the back of your thighs. If it's around the back of your thighs, you're going to be able to get that rotation a little bit better. Good. In 4 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 2. Should we do 2 more? Last one and release. Nicely done. You can just leave that band on for now. Extend your legs. Extend your arms over and try and lengthen out the spine. I can't believe it's over. Time just goes so quick. You can leave the band where it is for now, and you can just hug the knees in towards your chest, releasing that lumbar spine. Good, and then from here, just slide that band down towards your ankles, roll to the side, and then just flip it off. And the newer your band, the harder it is to maneuver. They don't slide on and off as easy when they're brand new. Okay, I just want to stretch your hips today. I want to do pigeon pose, and I'm going to use the bendable. I'm going to give you a quick option if you've got a knee issue. But if you can try this with me, hands and knees, I'm going to put the bendable to the right side. I'm going to slide the right knee forward, move the heel from the groin, and I'm going to take the bendable underneath the right buttock. Then I stretch my left leg back, I walk my hands in, I lift the chest, and I press the back thigh down towards the floor. It should feel good. It's deep in your hip, your pelvis, your glutes. Stay there. If there's a knee issue, you don't like the thought of that, then you could do your number 4 standing up. If you're still in that pigeon pose, it's a fantastic pose for the health of your hips and your glutes. And we do have 6 classes a week in the studio. They're also going out live virtually. You do have to wear a mask all the way through the class, so we've only chosen low intensity classes that don't really get your heart rate up. Even in my Pilates and tone last night, I definitely felt a change in heart rate, and wearing the mask does actually increase your heart rate. So we do have to be strategic what classes we choose to do. But there's 6 on the schedule. The schedule's on the website, and you have to book your spot online on the website because we can only take 13. Nicole's teaching Pilates on Sunday in the studio. That's in Studio 2, so we can get 16 people in that one, if you fancy working out in your mask. Change over. Other side, left leg forward. Bring that ball under your left glute. Move the heel slightly away from the groin, but your work is not to sit on your left. You've got to press your right thigh bone down and lift your heart center. Standing variation if you don't want to weight bear down here. Try and press that right thigh down. All the work is in trying to get the right thigh down to the floor with the chest up. You can come onto your elbows. That's a variation. You might be feeling that good in the back of the glutes, hopefully. And then release, tuck the toes under, come all the way up. One stretch for your IT band, right leg behind, extend over. And we'll call it a day. If you have any questions, you know you can unmute yourself anytime, or you can pop it in the chat. We have yoga gentle, yoga mobility in the studio tomorrow. Pilates in the studio on Sunday. Jessica, Monday night, teaching bar. I've just hired a new instructor, a male dancer called Austin. He's a ballet dancer. He's going to be teaching bar with Jessica. And then Tuesday, Jessica's Pilates. Wednesday night, my Pilates. Those are the 6. Okay, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you had a good workout. Hope you felt some bodies moving. Thanks, Duval. See you next time. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Drew. So nice to see you all. Thank you. Thanks, Susan. Thank you. Thank you, Bettina. Yes, I am a bit of a science nerd. I think that's what kept me healthy for 32 years. I do love the science. Thanks, Libby. It was lovely to see you yesterday. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Lorna. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Donna. That's so nice. Thanks, Jan. Yes, great idea, Kevin. I forgot about that. Of course, glider lunge is perfect for the curlers. Yes, thanks, Tom. Nice to see you. Yes. Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Sydney. I should speak to the curlers about those gliders. Great suggestion. Okay, I'm going to end the program now. Thank you again for being here. And hopefully maybe I'll see you on Saturday in my yoga or next Tuesday for Sweat 45. Have a fantastic weekend.